I need to tell you something that your doctor has probably never said to you, and it is important enough that I want you to stop everything else right now and just listen. Waking up to urinate at night, what doctors call nocturia, is not just a bladder problem. It is not just a prostate problem. In men over 60, frequent nighttime urination is one of the most reliable early warning signs of a systemic cardiovascular and hormonal condition that, if caught early, is highly manageable, but if missed entirely, can lead to consequences that are completely irreversible. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying this because the information I am about to share could genuinely change the trajectory of your health, and most men never hear it until it is too late. Here is what the research shows. A landmark study published in the American Heart Association journal, Circulation, followed over 6,000 men between the ages of 60 and 78 for 8 years. Men who experienced 2 or more episodes of nocturia per night had a 47% higher risk of developing cardiovascular events, heart attack, stroke, or major cardiac episode, compared to men who slept through the night, 47%. And the mechanism behind this relationship is something every man over 60 needs to understand. When a man is waking up 2, 3, 4 times a night to urinate, in the majority of cases, it is not because his bladder is overactive. It is because of fluid redistribution. During the day, gravity causes fluid, particularly interstitial fluid, the fluid that sits in tissues between your cells, to pool in the lower legs and feet. This is why many men over 60 notice ankle swelling by late afternoon. When you lie down at night and elevate your legs, that pooled fluid re-enters circulation and travels to your kidneys. Your kidneys, suddenly receiving a large volume of fluid, produce urine rapidly. That urine fills your bladder and wakes you up. Now here is the critical part. The degree of daytime fluid pooling in the legs is directly related to cardiovascular function. The worse your circulatory efficiency, the more fluid accumulates, and the more fluid that redistributes at night, the more frequently you wake up. Nocturia is therefore functioning as a real-time readout of your cardiovascular system. 2 or more nighttime trips in a man over 60 is not a minor inconvenience. It is a symptom, and it deserves to be investigated as one. Let me tell you about a man named Harold, 64 years old, from Houston, Texas. Harold had been waking up 3 times a night for 18 months. His family doctor had attributed it to an enlarged prostate and recommended he see a urologist. The urologist prescribed medication. The medication helped somewhat, but the waking continued. Nobody had checked his cardiovascular markers. Nobody had looked at his blood pressure trends throughout the night. When I evaluated Harold, I found that his nighttime blood pressure was significantly elevated, what we call nocturnal hypertension, a condition that affects an estimated 23% of men over 60 and is almost never detected because blood pressure is almost always measured during the day. Harold's daytime blood pressure was normal. His nighttime blood pressure was dangerously high. The nocturia was the signal. The real problem was cardiovascular. Now, I want to be absolutely clear. I am not saying that everyone who wakes up at night to urinate has a cardiovascular problem. Many cases are purely due to diet, beverage choices, bladder conditioning, or prostate enlargement. But I am saying that if you are a man over 60 and you are getting up 2 or more times every night, and you have never had your nighttime blood pressure measured, and you have never had a leg swelling assessment, and nobody has ever measured your ankle brachial index, the ratio of blood pressure in your ankle to your arm, which measures arterial circulation efficiency, then you have not had a complete evaluation, and you deserve one. Here is what the evaluation should include. First, a 24-hour ambulatory blood pressure monitor, a device you wear for a full day and night that captures your blood pressure at regular intervals and specifically reveals whether your blood pressure drops appropriately at night, which it should in a healthy cardiovascular system. Second, a basic lower extremity venous insufficiency assessment, a simple physical examination that takes 5 minutes and can identify whether the veins in your legs are returning blood efficiently. Third, a BNP blood test, brain natriuretic peptide, a hormone released by the heart when it is under strain, elevated levels of which are found in over 60% of men with unexplained nocturia in research studies. Before I continue, I want to take a moment because you have been asking. I have shortlisted a few trusted supplement and vitamin suppliers with products specifically designed for cardiovascular and hormonal support in men over 60. I have reviewed these personally, and I believe they are genuinely worth looking at. They are all in the description below this video. Please check them out. Now here is what you can do right now, today, at home, without a doctor's visit, to begin addressing the fluid redistribution component. The most evidence-backed intervention is compression. Wearing graduated compression socks, 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury pressure, available at most pharmacies for under $20, from morning until approximately 6 p.m., dramatically reduces the amount of fluid that accumulates in your lower legs throughout the day. A randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Urology showed that men over 60 with 2 or more nightly urinations who wore compression socks daily for 4 weeks reduced their nocturnal voiding episodes by an average of 1.4 times per night. That is the equivalent of getting back nearly a full, uninterrupted sleep cycle. The second home intervention is elevation. 45 minutes before bed, lie on your back and elevate your legs above heart level. Feet resting on 2 stacked pillows is sufficient. This allows the pooled fluid to return to circulation while you are still awake and able to urinate, rather than redistributing after you fall asleep. Men who combine compression during the day with evening leg elevation typically see a 50 to 60% reduction in nocturia episodes within 2 to 3 weeks. Let me close with something important. Harold, the man from Houston, got the cardiovascular evaluation. He was placed on appropriate management for his nocturnal hypertension. He adopted the compression and elevation protocol. Within 6 weeks, his nighttime trips went from 3 to 1. More importantly, his cardiologist said that catching the nocturnal hypertension when they did, before any cardiac event had occurred, put him in a significantly better long-term position. Harold told me the nocturia saved his life, and I believe he is right. If this video made you think about your own situation differently, please share it. It might be the most important thing you do for someone you care about this week. Like this video, subscribe, and leave me a comment right now. How many times are you waking up at night? Tell me below. I read every single one. I will see you in the next video.